what is real value, and especially in a world where you can't really pursue happiness and have freedom to move, to do what you want. Wednesday, October 27th, 2021, Medeco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. So world is getting more and more crazy. I guess that's what an authoritarian world looks like, what we've got. And is your money or your wealth or your savings, are they safe in such a world? I mean, everything seems to be doing great, right? I saw a tweet yesterday from this guy that I follow, Charlie Bilello. He's got 300,000 followers on Twitter. He's a founder and CEO of Compound Capital Advisors. So pretty popular guy on Twitter. And this is what he said. This was about 16 hours ago. And he numbered all these comments. He said, number 1, stocks, all-time highs. 2, home prices, all-time highs. 3, crypto market cap, all-time highs. Wages, all-time highs. Job openings, all-time highs. Inflation, highest in 30 years. Federal government, we need to hold interest rate down at 0 and borrow and spend trillions more. And that's all he said. I think his tweet is basically a puzzle for him. He doesn't know what's going on. And yes, how can it be normal that if everything is so great, that rates are still at 0 and the Federal Reserve and the government are spending and printing trillions of dollars? I mean, I saw yesterday a fact about the mortgage market prior to 2008. The Federal Reserve held 0 mortgage-backed securities, and now they hold over 2 trillion. So I actually replied to that tweet and I said, it's called a crack-up boom or a catastrophic house or hyperinflation. I recommend Human Action by Ludwig von Mises as it covers the subject in detail. Keynesians have no clue of what is going on. And what does that mean? Well, the Keynesians, and I would say, I don't think Charlie Bilello sees himself as a Keynesian, but indirectly he is, because he's in the mainstream. And what do I mean that they don't see it? They don't see that this is actually a currency collapse, that people want to have anything but the fiat currency, or the dollar, or the pound, or the euro, or the Chinese yuan, whatever fiat currency it is. And why read Human Action? Well, because I've read it to you several times about the Katastrophenhause. That's a German term for the crack-up boom. And von Mises explains very clearly that once you go down the path of inflation, and by inflation, of course, I mean creating money and credit, or currency and credit, really, because money, really, we know what money is. Real money is silver and also gold. But so when governments and the central banks that work together with the governments go down the path of inflation, in the beginning, they can come back from it. They can rein in the inflation and let the free market take over. Yes, even in a free market, I would say, without a central bank in a free banking system, there are booms and busts, but they don't get out of hand. So what von Mises said, yes, once you go down this path of inflating, and this path really, I think we went down this path in 2002 and 2003, and I think Bernanke's speech about helicopter money, basically saying, don't worry, we're never going to let things get bad, because we can print, or we might even use a helicopter to drop currency. I think that's when it started. And 08, of course, 09, we could have gotten off that road. But of course, the powers that be, the central banks, they had to save Wall Street, and they went further, even further down the road of inflation. And how do they do that? Well, the QE, the zero rates, all the bailouts. And of course, who's paying for all this? Well, it's the bottom 90%, especially. And I would argue even the bottom 99, because in reality, the people who are benefiting the most are the people at the top. They call it the 1%. You might even want to call them the 0.01% now. And then, yes, Jay Powell tried to get off that road by normalizing policy in 2017, 2018. And I knew back then that it wouldn't work because we'd been down that road for too long. And lo and behold, it all imploded in 2019. You might think it was last year that it imploded. No, it was 2019 with the repo crisis, where overnight repo rates went from 2% up to 10% in one day, and they had to start doing QE again. Yes, last year we went even further down this road, and there have been a lot of people out there who have said, well, you're wrong because we've had, it didn't happen, the hyperinflation after 08. Well, it's happening now. And I think Charlie Bilello's tweet says it all. And he didn't even mention all the shortages, all the supply chain troubles. Yes, he did mention inflation, the highest in 30 years, but I would venture that what we have now is the consequence of all that inflation, and that's why they don't see it coming. So back to my initial thought about how do you protect your wealth, your savings, your money in an authoritarian environment. And I have to say we are. And there are loads of symptoms, of course, that I don't have to talk about. I want to keep my channel running, and I don't want to get too much into it. But I've just seen that George Gammon, one of his channels, The Rebel Capitalist, has been basically deleted from YouTube. I saw the other day that the president of Brazil, who's considered a right-wing extremist, which is something that couldn't be further from the truth. I've listened to the guy. I am originally from Brazil, so I do understand what, Portuguese and what he's saying. I think it's just because he's got a different view of the world that the globalists have. So yes, his Facebook and YouTube channels have been deleted temporarily because he said something. And I'll put the article, a link to this article below in the description. I don't want to go over it. Don't want to have my channel deleted. So yeah, that's the question. I mean, it's very hard. It's very hard. How do you live your life and pursue happiness in a system like this? Well, it's very hard. And I've heard stories about East Germany or Central Europe, Eastern Europe during World War II when the Soviet troops rolled in and they confiscated a lot of property. Some Germans put the deeds to their property. They buried it under concrete, let's say, in that property, hoping that one day they would be able to go back and prove to a government that wasn't authoritarian that they owned that property. So it's very hard. I don't know. This is new for me too, but yeah. All I'm trying to tell you is that things are not normal, and you need to be careful. I think you need to do whatever it takes to protect what you've worked for. Of course, some people are just starting, younger people. But the other question is as well, how do you enjoy, if you've got still access to some of your savings, some of your wealth, do you put it to work in a system? Do you invest it in the big corporations that are actually really not friendly towards your freedoms and liberties? I don't think so. I think we need to try to avoid as much as possible the big corporations, because they're actually working hand in hand with governments, because in some instances, governments can't really mandate a lot of the authoritarian rules, but corporations can. And I think this is just the road to try to destroy small businesses, mom and pop businesses. And I think it's going to get worse, unfortunately, unless, of course, there's something that happens, and I can't see it right now, but who knows, that kind of a Red Sea moment where Pharaoh's power, and by Pharaoh I mean the people who are running the show. And I have made a lot of videos about this subject years ago, and I wasn't censored. I was limited in some of them on advertisement, but I'm gonna give you some videos that you might want to watch. There's one here, and I'm gonna put a link to them in the description. I'm gonna put them up in the cards. There's one here about a subject now that is supposedly going to be censored. It's to do with the weather, right? I'm not going to say any more. But I did this one right in the beginning of this channel, actually. This is from December 2015. And I said, climate change, a backdoor to world government, says George Hunt. Recommend that one. What else have we got about that topic? Davos, the globalist agenda and climate change. I did that not last year when we learned about the World Economic Forum. I did that in January 2019. So I have been trying to warn people. What I recommend you do is go on my channel under videos and search climate change. There's 4 videos about it. One in 2015, one in 2017, and a couple in 2019. What else have I got here that I think is interesting to look at? Well, if you do the same thing and you search New World Order, I've done 6 videos about it. I've been speaking about it for years. And yes, it's been probably shadow banned, but you can go back there and watch my videos about the New World Order. New World Order wants you and your family enslaved. That was November 2017. So, and I think I'm holding a copy of The Economist magazine, the cover. Yes, what else? Another one that I made, and they took the ad suitability. The ad suitability they gave me says this video has been confirmed by manual review as not suitable for most advertisers. I did this video in March of 2017, or maybe it was April, I'm not sure. But I talk about the Rockefellers because David Rockefeller had just died in March of 2017. And the title of it is The Rockefellers, Philanthropists and Globalists. So they didn't like something I said there. And so, yes, I'd love to make more and more videos about what's going on and expose the agenda. But it seems difficult these days, and I'm not even sure what's going to happen to this video. So, yeah, now let's go and look at the markets, if you can call them that. Yes, if the money is fake or the currency is fake, if everything is like upside down and doesn't make sense, just like Charlie Bilello implied there by his comment, what is real value? And especially in a world where you can't really pursue happiness and have freedom to move, to do what you want, of course, without hurting anyone else. That's what it's supposed to be. You're supposed to be free to do whatever you want, as long as you don't, you follow the golden rule. But unfortunately, that's gone out the window. So let's look at these markets. It's 8:35 a.m. London time. We've got spot gold, 1786.80, down $5. So what's happening to this paper price of gold and silver? Really difficult to say. Yesterday, just before, I think, 8:30 a.m. Eastern time, gold was just whacked by like $10, and then it just kept going lower. So who knows? But I think holding on to your wealth, be it monetary wealth like gold and silver, be it your property, be it land, be it whatever, is going to be something that is more important than profit. And as Ali Chahadi from Lebanon said, I interviewed him last week, in a crack-up boom, in a collapse, currency collapse, in an authoritarian regime, holding on to your wealth, to your property, is more important than the return on it. Yes, that's what he meant. So don't be too bogged down, I would say, on price movements. Anyway, what about silver? Silver's trading at $24, down 16. High's been 24.21, low 23.88. Gold, by the way, the range has been 17.95 to 17.85. The Dow future, I guess, is making an all-time high. It's up 63 points at 35,800. The NASDAQ is up 33 as well, probably an all-time high. Or if you want to look at it in terms of dollars, it's the dollar that's making an all-time low, right? You've got the S&P 500 up 8 points. FTSE is down 10 points at 72.70. That's not an all-time high for the FTSE. I think it's pretty much where the FTSE was about 22 years ago or 21 years ago. To the currencies, sterling is unchanged, 137.66. Euro is up a little bit at 116.06. Dollar is down 0.2% versus the yen at 113.91. The dollar is up slightly versus the yuan at 6.38. To the other currencies, Aussie dollar is up a third at 75.24. The dollar is unchanged versus the Canadian dollar, 123.91. And the Kiwi dollar is up slightly at 71.64. To the commodities, WTI crude is down 1.3% at 83.12. High-grade copper is down 0.8% at 443.40. Natural gas down a third, just below 6 at 5.96. So there you go. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Please share it far and wide. Think about subscribing to my channel if you haven't yet. And you can also follow me on Rumble, Twitter, Facebook, and all these other platforms below here. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.